On the morning of Monday, October 27, 2025, Mexico Beach, a small coastal town on the Florida Panhandle, was struck by the sudden appearance of a tornado believed to have originated in the Gulf of Mexico. The event occurred around 8 a.m. local time, while most residents and tourists were still inside their accommodations or recreational vehicles. The initially overcast sky turned pitch black, accompanied by strong winds and heavy rain that drenched the coastal area. The tornado is believed to have formed from a rapidly moving storm system from the southwest, bringing high-speed winds and possibly rotation strong enough to cause structural damage. According to preliminary reports from the National Weather Service, NWS, the event was likely a waterspout that moved inland and transformed into an EF0 or EF1 tornado, although an official classification is pending the results of a field investigation. One of the most affected locations was El Governor RV Park, a tourist area located right on the beach. Several recreational vehicles, RVs, were reportedly overturned. Several trailers were severely damaged, and debris was sent flying tens of meters. An eyewitness, Shandy Renee White, a local real estate agent, managed to capture video of the tornado as it passed, showing the twisting winds and the impact of the structure with devastating force. A Tampa couple, staying in an RV, described how a power pole fell onto their vehicle. Rainwater poured through the damaged roof, drenching the entire interior. Despite the trauma and material loss, they were grateful to have escaped unharmed. 2 other people reportedly suffered minor injuries and were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. Emergency response teams from the Bay County Sheriff's Office were immediately dispatched to the scene. They conducted evacuations, assessed the damage, and ensured that no one was trapped in the rubble. Within less than 2 hours, a team from the American Red Cross arrived in Mexico Beach to provide initial assistance with food, clean water, and temporary shelter to the displaced victims. Meteorologist Jim Cantor of the Weather Channel, who happened to be covering the storm system in the Florida Panhandle, described the tornado as a dangerous storm that developed from a very active marine system. He explained that atmospheric conditions at the time were very favorable for the formation of tornadoes, with warm sea surface temperatures and a significant pressure difference between land and sea. Mexico Beach itself is no stranger to natural disasters. The town was devastated by Hurricane Michael in 2018, and recovery and rebuilding efforts have been ongoing since then. However, this tornado once again tested the resilience of infrastructure and community preparedness.
Look at that power line.
Some recently renovated buildings sustained minor damage, indicating that post-Michael construction standards have provided additional protection, though not yet fully tornado-proof. Authorities are currently conducting a thorough investigation to determine the tornado's official classification, its path, and the duration of its activity. Radar data indicates that the storm system moved eastward at approximately 20 miles per hour, crossing Bay County and parts of Gulf County before weakening over land. The National Weather Service, NWS, is also collecting reports from residents and video footage to support its analysis. The Florida state government has issued an official statement stating that it stands ready to provide emergency funding and support the recovery process. The governor said that while this tornado was not as large as previous disasters, each incident remains an important reminder of the need for early warning systems and resilient infrastructure. After a tornado struck Mexico Beach on the morning of October 27, 2025, long-term impacts began to be seen in various sectors of community life. In terms of infrastructure, damage to recreational vehicles, light buildings, and tourist facilities demonstrated that coastal structures remain vulnerable to tornadoes. Although the tornado was relatively minor, evaluating structures rebuilt after Hurricane Michael is crucial. If damage is found in renovated structures, it may require improved construction standards. Local governments are also expected to review tourist zones and RV parks and consider relocating or reinforcing structures in vulnerable open areas.
Killing me now. I can't
Economically, the tourism sector, the backbone of Mexico Beach, is likely to be severely disrupted. Damage to tourist facilities could reduce visitor numbers for the coming months. Furthermore, the cost of recovery, borne by local governments and property owners, will be a significant burden. If this event is classified as an official disaster, emergency funding from the state and federal governments could expedite the reconstruction process. Socially and psychologically, the experience of a tornado, even without loss of life, can be traumatic for residents and tourists. Especially for those who experienced Hurricane Michael, this event can rekindle fear and uncertainty. On the other hand, the community solidarity seen during the evacuation and recovery process demonstrates strong social resilience. However, long-term psychological support is still needed, especially for vulnerable groups. This event also provides momentum to improve disaster education in the community, including evacuation training and the use of early warning systems. From a meteorological perspective, this tornado raises new questions about the increasing frequency of tornadoes in coastal areas. If this pattern repeats, weather scientists will examine whether microclimate changes in the Gulf of Mexico are triggering more waterspouts moving inland.
Couple turned over here.
Early warning systems also need to be further developed, with increased radar and weather sensors in coastal areas to detect small, rapidly forming tornadoes. This event could encourage collaboration between NOAA, universities, and local agencies to better understand the dynamics of sea-to-land tornadoes. From a policy perspective, local governments will likely revise regulations regarding the placement of RVs, semi-permanent structures, and evacuation routes. Investments in resilient infrastructure such as public shelters, emergency communication systems, and safer evacuation routes are priorities. This tornado will also be incorporated into Mexico Beach's long-term disaster management plan, along with existing storm and flood threats. In the coming days, Mexico Beach is expected to face recovery challenges, including power grid repairs, street clearing, and restoring public services. However, community spirit and past experience are key assets in navigating this situation. Many residents stated that they will not abandon their town but will continue to rebuild and strengthen it. Thus, the tornado that struck Mexico Beach is not only an extreme weather event, but also an important point of reflection for the community, government, and scientists to strengthen coastal resilience to increasingly complex disaster threats. If you would like visual versions such as impact infographics, risk zone maps, or mitigation policy summaries for public education, I am happy to assist you.